This is Linda Reinstein from the United States, co-founder of the Asbestos Disease Awareness Organization, and I am so delighted to be able to talk to Debbie Brewer in England today about a few different things, but most importantly about a statement that was recently made by a political leader. But first, I want the listeners, Debbie, to really connect with you and understand who you are and what you've been going through. Will you share a little bit about yourself, please?
Yes, hello Linda. Thank you for asking me onto this interview. I was diagnosed in November 2006 with mesothelioma. I'd lost my dad 3 months before. He had pleural plaque, and it was a bit of a shock to find out I had this disease. I was 47 years old, 3 young children, single mum, and it was, as I say, a complete and utter shock. I've had a research program in Germany, chemotherapy, and I've also had chemotherapy in the UK recently. I've just finished 6 cycles of that, so that's where I'm up to date. I'm quite cross with Mr. Helmer because he's made a very dangerous statement that white asbestos is not as dangerous or is safer than blue and brown. To me, this is just a completely stupid statement when you've got people out there who know nothing about asbestos. Or are they going to be listening to him and thinking, oh, well, if we've got a white asbestos in our house, we can knock that wall down? It's stupid, really, really stupid.
Well, after you've endured so much, as you say, as a single mom with over 6 years of treatment and being one of the most courageous voices I know in the mesothelioma community to patients and their families, I can only imagine how you did feel, and I appreciate you sharing. So it appears that Mr. Helmer first submitted an amendment for consideration with white asbestos. Have you seen a following of other people who share your sentiment and outrage?
Yes, I have. Obviously, I'm very good friends with Mavis Nye, and Mavis and I have been battling Mr. Helmer through this. Our support group is backing it, as is my MP. We just want to get him educated, if you like, and not be so. I'm trying to think of the word. I know what word I mean, but at the moment I can't think of it. But it's a stupid statement. I'll say it again because people will listen to him and they will believe him. It's dangerous, very, very dangerous to say what he said. I did email him, and I said to him, come to our support group in the UK, meet some families with mesothelioma, and if you like, I'll send you a nice little box of white dust that you can play with in the room on your own. I did get a reply back, and he said, he thanked me for writing to him, and he said, the fact that I suffer from the disease is no evidence that it was caused by white asbestos, and apparently there's clear government research showing that white asbestos poses no measurable risk. And he also said he doesn't think any campaigning I do will help. Throw down the gauntlet, Mr. Helmer, and I will pick it up, believe me. So that's what I've done. And I have mailed him back again and said, you didn't answer my questions. Would you like this box of asbestos? Would you like to meet families? And would you like to come to our support group? And as yet, all's been very quiet.
So. Well, I really I applaud you for taking action. The Asbestos Disease Awareness Organization sent Mr. Helmer a letter today. I think for us it represents not only the UK, but he's a member of the European Parliament, so his voice resonates not just in UK on a local level. So I think you're absolutely right in your strategy. When you've done some amazing campaigning about do-it-yourself exposure in England. I've actually had the honor of sitting beside you at the British Lung Foundation and the HSE. What are you seeing as the new trends? Do you think awareness is being raised? Do you think homeowners understand, or do we still have a long learning curve in the UK? I know in the United States we do. We're still actually importing asbestos and actually increased our consumption in 2011. Hard to believe, isn't it? Tell me what you see in the UK with schools and homes.
I have seen changes. Since I was diagnosed, a lot has changed. It was 4 years before we had our own support group in our city, in Plymouth, in England. That is a great step forward. Linking up with yourselves and all the work that you've done, Linda, with ADAO, the work that Italy's done, the work that Brazil has done, and Fernanda and her team. It's moving forward, and hearing about Canada and the improvements there. People are starting to listen, because the more of us that are coming together now, the louder the voice is getting. And I think it is starting to impact the world, and thankfully we're all working together, and it does seem to be happening. I hope I see it in my lifetime, and I hope I see a cure as well.
Well, we all pray for both of those things, and especially a cure for you and Mavis and so many other people who we dearly love. People are going to listen to you talking, and they're also going to be outraged by Roger Helmer's email to you and to Mavis. They're going to want to help. We've posted his address in the story that we have online. What would you like to tell people? What would you recommend people doing? How can they help you as you've picked up the gauntlet? What would you like others to do?
Pick the gauntlet up as well. Challenge him. Get him to come and meet people and tell them face to face what he's saying, and behind paper, behind a screen, if you like, not coming forward and doing it face to face with people. Write to him, Twitter him, anything at all, social media, anything. Let's just swamp him with all these letters and statements that he's coming up with, and let's educate him, because if he's educated, then hopefully we can educate the people that are listening to him. And he's got it completely wrong, and it needs to be stopped. It's dangerous talk.
Well, you're absolutely right. He has it completely wrong. And as you know so well, the World Health Organization has declared asbestos. It's been known and noble, as they say, for decades, that asbestos is a known human carcinogen and there's no safe level. So, again, ADAO applauds you, your efforts, and Mavis, and I hope everyone joins your shared campaign to educate Mr. Roger Helmer about the dangers of all asbestos, irregardless of the color, white, blue, or brown. All 6 forms of asbestos are deadly carcinogens. So, Debbie, thank you so much for giving us your time, your thought, and your passion. You are truly loved around the world.
It's been quite poignant today because we've lost one of our UK warriors. So it's been quite poignant and quite angered me today that this dear lady has died and left her family, and you've got fools like this saying, no, it's not happening. So come and see that family, and you see the devastation that it's left behind.
So may we all light candles for Denise and her family tonight, and maybe dedicate the rest of our night and this weekend to actionable efforts that will indeed help Mr. Helmer become more educated, so that you're right, people that are listening to him can also become educated. Yeah. All right, we'll make sure that our listeners can find you. And Debbie, again, thank you so very much.
It's a pleasure, darling. Absolute pleasure.